You believe that if you love harder, they will finally treat you right. You think if you stay patient, gentle, forgiving, they will eventually see your worth. That's the trap, not because kindness is wrong, but because you gave it to someone who feeds on it. Understand this clearly. Your kindness is not always seen as love to the wrong person. It is leverage. To the selfish, it is permission. To the emotionally immature, it is a signal that you can be bent, delayed, dismissed, and taken for granted. A healthy person sees your kindness and meets it with gratitude. A narcissistic person sees the same kindness and thinks, "Good, I can push further." They won't leave. Kindness without boundaries does not heal. It imprisons, and the one who becomes chained is always the one who cares. The manipulation never begins loudly. It starts quietly, subtly, almost innocently. A joke that cuts a little too close. A comment that makes your stomach tighten for half a second. A small boundary pushed just to see if you will react. They watch your face. They listen to your silence. They study how much discomfort you will swallow to keep the peace. And every time you say nothing, they learn. They learn you fear conflict. They learn you value harmony more than self-respect. They learn that your love is negotiable, so their tests escalate. The joke becomes disrespect. The boundary push becomes routine. Your needs fade into the background, and theirs take the throne. You tell yourself, "It's fine, it's small. I don't want to start an argument," so you stay quiet. You swallow it. You sacrifice a piece of your dignity to avoid conflict. But that silence is not peace. It is surrender. Every time you let a disrespect go, you are not preserving the relationship, you are eroding yourself. Your identity begins to shrink. Your confidence begins to fade. Your voice becomes something you only hear in your own head. You think you're being patient. You think you're choosing love. But love is not pain, and patience is not self-abandonment. You are not supposed to set yourself on fire to keep another person warm. You keep hoping that one day they'll wake up, look at you, and finally realize what you've given them. You imagine the moment where they say, "I'm sorry, I see your worth now," but that moment never comes. Not because you're unworthy, but because they don't see what you're giving as a gift. They see it as their entitlement. Your patience becomes their expectation. Your forgiveness becomes their safety net. Your loyalty becomes their guarantee that you won't walk away. They don't change because they don't have to. You keep adjusting, you keep bending, you keep absorbing the damage and calling it love. You try being softer. You try being more patient. You try being understanding to the point that your own needs vanish. But you cannot love someone into emotional maturity. Love does not cure selfishness. Kindness does not fix entitlement. Sacrifice does not teach respect. You're pouring clean water into a cracked vessel and wondering why you keep ending up empty. They're not inspired by your devotion. They're empowered by it. A narcissist doesn't control you with force. They control you with emotion. They give just enough affection to keep you hopeful, and just enough pain to keep you uncertain. This is conditioning. Hope, pain, and your brain becomes addicted to the cycle. At first, you still felt like yourself, but little by little, you started adjusting everything about you to avoid conflict. You stopped speaking up. You stopped asking for what you needed. You stopped expressing your feelings. You stopped being you. You didn't lose yourself in a dramatic moment. You lost yourself each time you chose silence over self-respect. Then comes the moment when the feeling changes. You wake up and realize the relationship no longer feels warm. It feels heavy. You don't feel chosen. You feel used. Fear replaces love. And once you see that clearly, you cannot unsee it. The moment you stop reacting emotionally and begin observing, the power dynamic flips. You realize they only had power because you kept handing it to them. Awareness is the first form of freedom. Then comes the shift from emotion to standards. Love without standards becomes self-betrayal. You are not leaving because you stopped loving them. You are leaving because you started loving yourself. When they sense they're losing control, they don't fight harder. They act better. They become everything you begged them to be, temporarily. This is not transformation. It is manipulation. The moment you go back, the cycle restarts, and each return costs you more of yourself. There is a turning point in every awakening. The moment you stop reacting emotionally and begin observing. You stop asking, "Why would they treat me like this?" And instead ask, "Why did I allow it?" This is not self-blame. It is self-ownership. They only had power because you kept giving it to them. Your silence enabled them. Your forgiveness without accountability encouraged them. Your fear of losing them made you easy to control. The power dynamic flips when you see that you were not trapped. You were choosing. And now, your heart and your standards begin to conflict. You may still feel attached, but love without boundaries becomes self-betrayal. You did not lose them because you stopped loving. You left because you finally loved yourself enough to stop abandoning your own dignity. Your strength begins the moment you stop reacting. A narcissist survives on your emotional responses, your anger, your explanations, your need to be understood. When you stop reacting, their influence dissolves. Your silence is not weakness, it is power. This is where boundaries take their true form. A boundary is not a wall of anger. It is a quiet, unwavering standard of how you will allow yourself to be treated. No pleading, no arguing, on no repeated explanations, just calm, firm action. And when you disengage, the mask falls. Their sweetness disappears and the raw hunger for control reveals itself. Do not take this personally. This is who they always were beneath the performance. When emotional control fails, they turn to guilt. They accuse you of being cold or ungrateful, hoping to pull you back into the cycle. But your peace is not cruelty. Your healing is not betrayal. You are not abandoning them. You are returning to yourself. And once the emotional fog clears, you face the unfamiliar sensation of being you again. At first, it feels like emptiness, but it is simply the absence of being drained. This is the rebuilding stage. You rediscover your needs, your voice, your identity. Emotional sovereignty returns. Your mood is no longer controlled by their behavior. Your worth is no longer shaped by their approval. You may still remember the good moments, but you no longer confuse them with love. You do not need closure, apology, or understanding to be free. You simply need yourself. And when you learn to love yourself with the same depth you try to love them, you become unreachable to those who once controlled you. You have reclaimed your power, and this time, it belongs only to you. Kindness remains a gift, but now it is given by choice, not by fear. Love remains in your heart, but now it includes love for yourself. And no one, ever again, will get to use your compassion as a chain. And now we return to the core truth. You were never here to be diminished. You were never meant to live small, silent, or afraid to speak your heart. Your kindness was always a strength. It simply needed a guard, a standard, a boundary. The world does not change when you beg it to. The world changes when you change the way you show up in it. When you value your peace, when you honor your voice, when you choose yourself not out of pride, but out of respect. If something in this message resonated with you, then this is your moment. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now, tell me in the comments, what part of this message woke something inside you? Your reflection might be the spark someone else needs. If you found power in this message, gently like the video. It tells the algorithm that this type of truth matters. Subscribe to the channel Stoic Power Lab and turn on the notification bell so you can continue building the kind of calm strength that no one can manipulate. And if there is someone in your life who needs this, share this video quietly. Let the message do the work. Thank you for listening. Thank you for growing. Thank you for choosing yourself again. This is Stoic Power Lab.